Hi guys, so skål, because the proposition from the government has come where they try to implement 2017 years old European Union firearms directive. So this is how they want to implement it in Swedish law. And it's a doozy. It's shit. It's a poop sandwich, as usual. It's filled with misinterpretation, flat out lies, and a big spoonful of bullshit. So I'm gonna quote Erik Lakoma, who knows more about this stuff than I do. I'll try to translate his comments on this. Yet again, even though it isn't demanded by the European Union and Parliament several times said no, they put forward suggestions of regulating magazines and other stuff as well. So back in 2019, the Swedish Parliament voted through that licensing on suppressors are to be removed. And the government has not done anything about that. And now they instead put forward a suggestion that licensing or the need for authorization is to be left, but in a different form. Still, it's better than what we have now, but it's not going to be free. It's going to be the same way according to the proposition. By the way, a proposition is something you put forward to the parliament to vote on. So this is in a voting stage now. Anyway, so what you want to do with the suppressors is the same way as ammunition. If you have a firearm, you can have a suppressor for it, but you need to have a firearms license. You can't just go and buy one. They should just remove it completely because it's just a tube with baffles in it. It's stupid. Anyway. Let's see what else we have here. So they failed to notice that the combination of a semi-auto weapon and a certain type of magazine, that combination makes a firearm a class A firearm, which requires other regulation. So and also they want certain regulations on gun brokers, whatever that is. If you want to buy and sell a firearm in Sweden, you have to go through the police anyway. So this is totally unnecessary legislation. And anyone handling like a gun auction is a gun store with certain permits from the police already. So this is already very regulated in Sweden. So it's very stupid, all of it. They're saying stuff like so when you put forward a suggestion like this, you have an investigation and all the stakeholders get to say their thing, and they're lying about what the stakeholders say, like the hunting associations, sport shooting associations, etc. What else do we have here? They want to mark every single part of a firearm with a serial number. Like every single tiny part of a trigger system needs a serial number. That's stupid, and especially for collectors, because it will lower the value of a firearm if you have to stamp everything with a serial. There's no need. So there's basically 3 parts to a firearm that needs to be regulated if you want to regulate stuff. It's the barrel, it's the bolt, and it's the receiver. The receiver ties together everything. The bolt and the barrel holds all the pressure parts. And these 3 parts are the only thing that's very hard to manufacture yourself. Anything other than that doesn't need a serial. if you don't have that, it's not a firearm. Also, it could be argued that the receiver shouldn't be regulated either, just the barrel and the bolt. And we have back in 2017, Parliament said that the government should only do a minimum implementation of the firearms directive, and that's not what they're doing. So they're going against what Parliament has decided, and according to our constitution, Parliament has the final say in things like this. So they're going against the constitution and Parliament and everything. So we have a majority in Parliament for a minimum implementation of the firearms directive. Unfortunately, our current government just keeps trying. I think this is like the 5th time they're trying to do this, and sooner or later some of the bullshit parties might fold. So it's very important that we all contact our representatives, like the Center Party, the Liberals, Folkpartiet, whatever they're calling themselves nowadays. And all these parties need to be contacted and said, please don't vote yes for this stupid proposition. It is very, very stupid. And what I'll do is I'll put Erik Lakoma's text. It's in Swedish, but just copy paste it into Google Translate if you're curious. I'll put that in the description of this and read that, because he's much more knowledgeable about these questions than I am, and there's a lot of good information in his text. And I'll put a link to the proposition on the government homepage, regeringen.se, and you can read about it. I'll also put a link to where you can contact your parliamentarians. And please do. You don't have to remember to be polite, by the way. You don't have to write a book about it. Just tell them that you're a legal gun owner and that you are worried about this. If you need arguments, read Erik Lakoma's text. So yeah, I just wanted to do a public service announcement for Swedish gun owners and anyone curious about what's happening in Sweden with gun laws. Talk to you later, guys.